We're going to play with a data set that's a little more complex than what you've ever handled before. It's a company that owns a bookstore and they want to be able to predict the number of customers. And this is critical because not only can they start the discussion of how can we bring in more customers or how can we understand what our customers like, but also how can we plan our resources if we knew what days we're going to be busy versus not so busy. So this is going to be a big deal to this company. But as you look at it, there's a lot of variables going on here. And some of these variables are curving, some of these variables have interactions, and it's your job to find a good model and to justify that you've done a good model that explains how to predict customers. And then how do each of these variables affect it? So not only are there a lot of variables, but look down here at the rubric. You should find errors and fix them. You should be able to explain what you're doing and how. Things like the alpha level just tells the customer the way you're doing statistics because somebody else might have a different alpha level. And then for each of these terms, go through and explain them. Some are a little harder than others, and some are worth a little more points than others. But in the end, you should be able to explain all these effects and the prediction equation and how accurate are those predictions. You should be able to justify them all. You'll notice this is like a huge amount of points. That's because if you're still making this mistake this late in the class, then yeah, you need something that's going to be a wake-up call. So 20 points there is a big deal. It's 2-grade change. A few details that often get overlooked. The intro should make it feel like your report has a lot of value to it. Describing the distribution of customers, that means tell me not based off the other variables, but just in general. Are we talking hundreds of customers, thousands of customers? Is it skewed? Is it normal? And here, if you have some terms that are nonlinear, squared, cubic, interacting, explain what you saw in the data that made you want to do that. And don't get so lost in the model that you forget what the goal here is. The goal is for this bookstore to understand their customers. What brings customers into the store? And so the conclusion should be, look, here's the bottom line, here's what we found, and yes, this is all in the report before, but for people who only read the intro and the conclusion, which happens a lot, they're going to be able to see, here's how customers are affected. This is an important homework because it's pretty similar to how the final project will go, according to both the method and what it feels like to write that report. So go ahead and give it a really good shot. I expect people to be getting 80s or 90s on this. If you have trouble, you should let me know.